What's up, YouTube? What's up, Hammerheads? Vanhammer P. Lucas coming at ya.
All right, what's up, YouTube? What's up, Hammerheads? VHHP! Craig coming at you. All right, we're already knee-deep in some work here, as you can see. First of all, shout out to Mrs. Vanhammer. She is not a 49ers fan, but when we won the NFC Championship, she ordered me the new hat so I could wear it on the Super Bowl. Go Niners! All right, so maybe you can tell, maybe not, what we're doing back here. But our first appearance mod for our 2020 Ford Explorer ST. And it has already been challenging me. This first little part probably took me over an hour to do. But it's a little challenging because these pieces aren't pre-cut and I'm having to cut them. So let's dive right into it. Let's take a look at what we got here. All right, we'll dive back here into the cargo space of our ST here. And you can probably see what's going on here. We have the infamous hair dryer here from Mrs. Vanhammer. Look, we even had to bust out the little tape measure, sewing tape measure thing. But this is what we're doing. You can see here, we've already got one done. We'll look at the difference there. I wanted to kind of get it figured out first because I had a couple ideas, so I just wanted to see what would work as far as doing this, and I've already learned a lot. But yes, we are tinting the lights. Anyway, so let's look at what we got here. We just went on Amazon, found a tint with good reviews. We'll take a look at this package here. So this is the, looks like VViVid air tint, and what that is, you don't have to have a wet application. You can do it dry. Now, the one we did with the Mustang, supposedly you could do it that way too, but I went ahead and used a wet application when I did it, and everything worked out fine. Actually, when I started this one, I thought, what the heck? It says you can do it dry, let's try it dry. And I can tell you what, I messed this piece up probably 5 times and or more. I took this on and off several times with this dry application, and it still went on and it still looks good. So the dry application does work. It is a little more work to pull it on and off and position it if you have to, as opposed to wet, because it will stick. But you can pull it right off, give it some heat, put it right back on. So we'll take a look at this right here. You'll see here I ordered 2 rolls of it, 16 by 60. It is the VViVid Hex Light Air Tint. Okay, so this is like the light smoke color is what this is. And you can see it here, and you can see the kind of honeycomb pattern that it has in it. And it's pretty detailed there. You can see it pretty good. But once it's on, okay, I mean, standing back this far, you probably can't really tell that it has the helix or that honeycomb pattern in it. Let's see if you can see it as you get up close here. I don't know, we're working with reflection here, but you may or may not be able to see that. And so I thought it was kind of cool, and I thought it would add a little extra look to it. So we went with it, and honestly, I think this would go pretty cool on the Mustangs, because the Mustangs have the honeycomb grill in the front if you haven't changed that out. So that may kind of tie into the Mustangs if you got that. So what I did was I used this because it can actually measure around the curves and stuff, and I measured me out basically a rectangle pattern. and then I peeled the backing off, stuck it on there, and then as I was going, you actually have to make the cuts as you're going, especially when you're coming around the curves. If you have too much excess there, it'll bunch up. And man, I was really worried when I first started. I had to get back into you know, figuring out how to do this, even though I've done it once. Like I said, they were pre-cut and it was a lot easier. But even if this was a pre-cut piece, these bends and folds are kind of tough at first until you get back into the hang of putting it on there. If it's something you're not doing every day, you got to get used to it again. So it took a long time to get that right and get it on there. When you buy your kit here, this one, it comes with this little squeegee thing. It's got a finer edge on it than the one I had. This is the one that came with my American Muscle tint kit for the Mustang, and so I was just going to use it. These little black things, it's like little pieces of felt, okay, and you just stick it over the edge of your squeegee there, and that's to help prevent so you don't scratch your vinyl. So anyway, like I said, I measured out a little rectangle, cut it out, put it on there, and then cut it out. And then so this was my rectangle piece here, and I've kind of altered it since now, or since the first one, because now I'm going to actually maybe try to cut it a little more to the shape I need. Just remember that if you do this and you have a pattern, and you trace out your pattern on the back here, remember it's going to be reverse. So if you trace it out and you put it on there, you want to make sure that it lines up right, because you can cut it out wrong. So you want to make sure it cuts out right to fit the shape of your whatever piece you're trying to put on. So that's what we're doing. That is the project. Back to the vinyl just real quick too. You know, this had it had pretty good reviews. I think it was around 4 out of 5 stars on the Amazon reviews. These 2 rolls, both 16 by 60, I think it cost me like $32 total. So if you get the tint kit, like off of American Muscle for the Mustang or whatever, it's like, I think it was like $56 or something like that, and they're always sold out of it. So while this is cheaper, it is still a lot of work since it's not pre-cut. But the vinyl feels good once you get it off there. It's thick but not too thick. Anyway, let's go ahead and get our piece cut out here. I've already laid down my piece and orientated it right for the way it's going to fit on the deal. We'll cut it out and try to fit it on there the best we can, and then I'll kind of show you how this is going to work. All right, so we see here we kind of got somewhat of a shape that we're going to go with there. That may be a little easier to work with than having the last time it was just a whole rectangle. Okay, what I found after working with the other one on this back piece, it's probably best if we work on this bottom slant and curve first. Okay, even with this, you can see that it's even with it pre-cut, it's still pretty big, and I'm gonna end up having to cut quite a bit away, even to get it to lay right. All right, like I said, we're gonna work this corner and work around this edge first. And then we'll work around this way and then come back down to this curved edge. That's the way I eventually got that one on and got it to lay good. So okay, this is where you'll start to get issues here. Okay, is obviously you got to make this turn and the fold here, and that's when you're going to start getting creases. And you're gonna think, just how do I get that out of there? And it is, one, you may have to peel this back and forth a little ways, a couple times, but heat will allow this to stretch, and you'll be able to push it down and get it to lay flat eventually. There's no real way for me to tell you how to do this. You just gotta do it and try to get it to lay flat. I mean, it just comes with doing it.
Use our finger. What's this? Ready? So let's write that too.
I need to go up more.
Think ready?
Ah, almost got it. Got one little crease in there. Now when you do the cutting, make sure your tint is cool, because if it's hot, you don't want to cut it like while you're have the blow dryer on it or heat gun on it or anything, because it'll actually pull and stretch it. So if it's cool, let the sharp razor just do its job, and it'll cut right through that stuff a lot better. All right, so we're gonna have our next curve here. That's gonna be the problem. What we're gonna do is heat this up right here. Okay, start pushing that in there so we can cut the excess off, and then once we get a lot of the excess off, this will start laying a lot better. All right, we flashed to the SpongeBob 2 hours later. We finally got that cleaned up there to where it's sitting flat. Now we got to work on the side and this curve. So let's see if we can get it. Holy moly. So like I said, you may be faster, better at it, or have a better way to work it than I did, but eventually I do get it on there. So there it is. Man, I think it looks a lot better blacking out that, or at least darkening the white there, smoking it out. All right, hammerheads, a headlight. So I was gonna do one just like I did the other side and then bring you the other one. Well, let's see. I don't have the best lighting in here, but maybe you can tell the difference there. It is quite a bit darker, but from a distance, that one looks good. And I thought everything was gonna go good, but this is what the top looks like here. I mean, yeah, you can see that right there. I just could not get it to lay flat there. And so then maybe I thought, well, maybe I'm good. But when you bring the hood down, the hood comes across almost right there where it's cut. And so all of that is visible. And so what I did is I cut this piece, I think 30.5 by 7. And doing this yourself, probably not. We had to tag team it, me and Mrs. Vanhammer, because that is a long way to curve that piece of vinyl. And so she had to hit it with the hair dryer as I was pressing it and stretching it, because it goes up. So you have to stretch it up. Well, then you have to stretch it around this curve that far, because when the hood comes down, the hood sits right here. And so anyway, I thought everything looks good. Everything looks good here. It's just right here I could not get it to lay. And I mean, it's heat. I mean, I heated it, and actually right here I probably stretched it too far, trying to stretch it and lay it flat. I don't know if you can see the little helix things in there, but they're even kind of stretched. And so yeah, I mean, as far as the face of it and from a distance, man, that's gonna look mean blacked out. But here it's Yeah, we're gonna have to take it off and redo it. I'm probably not gonna be able to do it tonight because Mrs. Vanhammer is going out on a dinner date with a friend, and so I really need to get this other headlight on real quick, and then we'll probably leave it at that. I might have to come back and do those down there. All right, Hammerhead's got the other headlight done. That one went a little easier. We kind of angled it a little bit before we stuck it on there, and we also left the backing of the vinyl on until we got towards the end, and actually within 2 minutes we got right here, and I thought everything was going to go great, and then we got to this curve right here and trying to get it so it reached all the way here, and that's where we ran into a little issue. But overall, you can see the top here looks a lot better than the other side. So we still got like a little crease right there, maybe one right there. But anyway, this one actually looks way better. We'll leave it the way it is. I'm just gonna try to redo that other one probably tomorrow when we come back and do the fog lights. It's getting dark outside, so you really wouldn't be able to see anything. So we'll come back tomorrow when we do the fog lights, redo that headlight. We'll get a good view of everything, and we'll have some good before and after pics for the lights. All right, what's up, YouTube? We're back. So when I left you, we were doing these headlights here, and I was supposed to come back the next day. Well, that didn't happen. Busy, weather conditions, things like that. Even now, we don't have optimal weather conditions. The wind's blowing like crazy, so some dust could blow up in here, which is not good when you're putting on this tint. Anyway, it's actually about 3 weeks later. The 49ers lost the Super Bowl. You know, we all know how that went down. But anyway, so I'm finally here. And I just wanted you to take a look at this just real quick. Now, of course, this driver's side headlight, I had already shown you guys I wasn't able to install it right, and it peeled up and stuff right here. All right, now the passenger side, we got it on there and we got it to lay flat, but we had to really stretch it, and of course it peeled up here at the top too. Right now, I don't think that's a product error. I think that's an installer error. Like I said, we really had to heat and stretch this part to get it to fit. So I think I was using, you know, I measured the headlights and I measured the width and I cut pieces out and stuff. It just wasn't big enough to account for the curve this way and then the curve up and then the roll over. So I'm going to redo it. Alright, we're going to cut a little bit of this to make it a little more workable. Alright, it's not going to win an award or anything for our best headlight tinting job, but I think I got it pushed back far enough there that I still had problems with this one corner. I don't know, it's hard to get around this angle and lip of the fender and get it tucked in there and deal with the wrap of the headlight. So alright, still not a perfect job, but I'm satisfied with this. I can live with this. Like I said, right here, this little corner, I don't even see it, but that's where I ended up with the crinkle. Everything else, I got a couple little just I think 3 more creases across the top, but they're very minor. Hopefully in the hood will take away from a lot of that, but the rest of it looks good. Looks like it's sticking good around the corners. So a lot better with that. We're gonna come back here, tear this one off, hopefully get it on there real quick. All right, a couple tries and many hours later, we got them both on, and to, I guess, my satisfaction, at least for now. So we still had just a little issue right there on that corner again, but anyway, I think it looks good. All right, so now we got to do the two fog lights down here. All right, that's what I'm talking about right there. That was you had to work just a little bit around this corner, but that's went way easier. Let's take a look at the difference here now. Sweet. I like it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this one out real quick, then we'll come back at you. All right, so something a little extra as well. Mrs. Vanhammer ordered the this little vinyl Ford overlay here over the badge. So it sticks out real bright blue, if you remember. And anyway, we were looking at the black badges for it, but man, you're talking about, I think the ones we were looking at were like $200 to replace the whole badge and have it all blacked out. I think this was like less than 20 bucks to get a vinyl overlay to fit over there. Of course, you still got a little chrome there, but I don't mind that. I think it makes it pop just a little bit more instead of be totally blacked out. But anyway, it's got like little fake carbon fiber kind of design on it. I like it. I think it goes good with the helix pattern there on the vinyl tint, and then also inside, you know, on the inside of the car there is kind of that same fake carbon fiber look on the dash and stuff like that. So this was pretty easy to install. You just kind of stick it on there, work it on there, then put some little heat. It gets all the wrinkles out. You know, go over, press down all the seams and stuff around the letters, and bam, it's on there. We'll see how durable it is and stuff over time, but man, it's really setting that off. We got one for the front, and I still got to do the back. So we'll do the back, and then I'll come to you once I get the back one on. All right, so here's the back one. It fell a little bit short there at the top, like a centimeter short, and it is right on line at the bottom. So anyway, it's not bad. You won't notice it unless you're right up on it. But anyway, there we go. So man, she's dirty, ain't she? And we still don't have a name for her, by the way. I guess we just can't make up our mind, but we'll get one for her. But anyway, when I was talking about earlier about it not sticking on the headlights and it being the installer and not the product, well, if you see here, like, we are stayed perfect on the tail light part that we did. So I'm pretty confident that this product's a good product. Once again, it was the VViVid, I believe. Got it on Amazon. I'll link it in the description and everything. Even though she's all dirty and everything, let me pull her back out and we'll get a look at the sunlight with the darkened out pieces and everything. All right, hammerheads, here it is. Here's the finished product here. Of course, I'll show you some before and afters. We took some time and got the car cleaned up, so it's a little later in the day, but we'll show you some before and afters here. Again, on the back, we just did the white part of the tail light. I thought about doing the little reflectors down here, but I wanted to leave some red. It kind of, with the contrast here and the contrast here, I think it goes good together. I would say, like, if I had the dark gray one or maybe the white Explorer, I would probably darken those out, but looks good. Once again, back to the front. Okay, so man, that was a lot of work. The headlights were tough, especially doing it by yourself, with it not being pre-cut. If I had an extra hand, a little extra help, probably would have went a lot smoother, and maybe done slightly a better job on them. The fog lights down there are white. If that's something, if you just want to do those to blacken those out, since the headlights already have some tint in it, that's super easy. Again, it was VViVid brand vinyl tint. It has the honeycomb or the hex. Don't know if you can see that. Okay, that was the brand. It was 15 bucks for 2 rolls. I believe the rolls were 16 by 60, and I used just about all of it on this. Of course, we did the headlights twice. I think you would still need 2 rolls if you did everything I did. I don't know, you'd be cutting it real close with one. But anyway, for 30 bucks, I don't think it's that bad. And a heck of an appearance upgrade. Again, I'll have to, Mrs. Vanhammer bought the little forward things. I think you can find those, but it's just a vinyl overlay over the 2 Ford badges, the front grill and the tailgate. I think they were like 20 bucks or something like that. So for 50 bucks, we got a pretty good appearance mod there, and I'm happy with it. So this has probably been a long video. It's been a long video coming. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, weather, work, family, it gets in the way when you're not a full-time YouTuber. Also, I do want to mention yesterday was my 1-year anniversary of YouTubing. We started it out with Racy Lacey 1 year ago, and we already have a new car with no name yet. But anyway, so thanks to everybody that supported me over the year. Thanks for everybody that's joined me. You guys stay tuned, because we've been doing some research and looking into some things on these STs, and we definitely have some more mods coming. It's all about money and time, of course. So anyways, that's all I got for here. I hope y'all like that. Like always, drop the hammer. Peace.
Do it.